FanDuel and DraftKings are two of the biggest sports betting sites in the United States, and for good reason. But which one is better? They both excel in different areas, and this video is going to break down who's better in terms of bet selection, odds, promotions, user experience, and all that good stuff. So let's get into it. So, welcome promotions are the promotions that new customers get, and these tend to vary throughout the year. FanDuel and DraftKings are both running a similar promotion right now, but DraftKings is definitely better. So at DraftKings right now, you can deposit $5 and get $150 in free bets, and that's given through 6 different $25 bets. FanDuel has the same promotion, only with a twist. You have to win your first bet in order to get the $150 in bonus bets. And if you do win that, you can break out the bonus bets into different amounts. So you don't have to bet all 150 at once. You can make $151 bets, $10, $15 bets, etc. So, like I said, these promotions vary throughout the year. If you are going to sign up for FanDuel, I would wait until they switch the promotion back to just the bet $5, get $150 instantly, or wait until the NFL season or once the NFL season has started, and then both sportsbooks will probably switch their promotions over to risk-free bets for your first bet. So when FanDuel and DraftKings run that promo, it's typically your first bet is risk-free up to $1,000. Meaning if you bet $100 on your first bet and it loses, they'll give you a $100 bonus bet up to $1,000, and then that bonus bet has to be used in the next 7 days. So if you're not in a rush to bet right now, I think those promotions are a little bit better if you're willing to risk more. But if you're just looking to deposit a few bucks and get, $150 in bonus bets, I would definitely take advantage of the DraftKings one now and then wait a little for the FanDuel one to change over, so that you don't have to win to get the $150 in free bets. If you are interested in either of those, I've got links in the description below. So as of the time of recording this, August 2024, DraftKings is offering a better welcome promotion for new customers, but typically throughout the year, these are even between FanDuel and DraftKings. All right, next let's get into ongoing promotions. So ongoing promotions are the promo offers that you get on a daily, weekly basis through each of the apps. I tend to find DraftKings offers more promotions throughout the year, typically in the form of profit boosts for just any bet for a certain sport, or same game parlay boosts or parlay boosts for a specific sport. So it might be like get a 50% boost if you place a 4-leg NFL parlay or something along those lines. FanDuel offers pretty much the same thing. Their profit boosts are usually like 25 to 30%. Whereas DraftKings differs between 10% all the way to 50% or sometimes 100%. So I think DraftKings in that regard offers a little bit better ongoing promotions. However, once we get into the odds section for both of these sportsbooks, FanDuel overall offers better odds. So it kind of cancels out, but I guess it kind of just depends on what you're betting on. I will say DraftKings does offer more casino promotions throughout the year. So they might offer like deposit $100, get a 50% deposit match. But they do have pretty high rollover requirements, so you might have to wager that $50. You might have to wager $500 in order for you to withdraw that bonus money. But if you are into the casino aspect of it, then DraftKings typically offers more promotions throughout the year than FanDuel. Although both sportsbooks, I'd say, do a good above average job for promotions. DraftKings a little bit above FanDuel in that regard. So the next thing I want to talk about is the odds, because I think this is probably the most important differentiating factor between FanDuel and DraftKings. If you are just betting on moneyline, spread, or over/under bets, I think FanDuel offers slightly better odds, but not by much. And I actually collected a couple thousand data points of odds back in 2021 when I was doing some work for Moneyline.com. And indeed, FanDuel did have better odds than DraftKings back in the day. But even just using the apps throughout the last 3 years, it's pretty apparent that their odds are slightly better for those straight bets. But where FanDuel really separates itself from DraftKings is when it comes to odds for same game parlays and parlays that involve player props. So, put up some videos here too, but if you're going to bet on a couple players to hit a home run, Typically, like the odds on FanDuel are like significantly better, like 25% better in most cases. So, for example, on FanDuel, the odds might be like 100 to 1 for three players to hit home run. So, bet a dollar to win $100. Where on DraftKings, that same bet will be like bet a dollar to win $85 or $80. Same thing for same game parlay odds too. So I have some images here from an NBA same game parlay where on FanDuel it's like 7.5 to 1, and then the same parlay on DraftKings is like 5 to 1. So it's just, if you're going to be placing those types of bets, like you're going to make more money as long as you win, a bet or two on FanDuel than DraftKings. And it costs the same amount of money. It costs the same amount of money to place the bet, so you might as well get more for your money if you win the bet. But again, if you're just going to bet on money line, spread, and over/under, you'd be fine with DraftKings. But if you are going to be parlaying those player props, FanDuel is 100% the way to go. And that's the biggest differentiator between these two sportsbooks, in my opinion. The next thing I want to talk about is just overall betting selection. So the types of bets that you have on each app. And I think FanDuel and DraftKings are respectively the two best sportsbooks in the country in terms of bet selection. So I don't think there's necessarily one that's better than the other. But I will say, depending on what you like to bet on, I think the layout of each app is kind of different from one another, where I prefer FanDuel's layout in bet selection to DraftKings, just the way that they have everything organized. I think it's easier to place same game parlays and parlays for player props like NFL touchdown scores or MLB players to record a hit, or NBA players to record 20 points or 3 threes or whatever it is. For me, at least, it's far and away easier and quicker on FanDuel, and the odds are better. So I think FanDuel, but I think it's all just personal preference. I have some friends that prefer DraftKings, and I think DraftKings is, again, the second best app in terms of bet selection. But for me, FanDuel has the edge in this category, slightly. But that's just personal preference. So next, I want to talk about a few ways each app kind of differentiates itself from the other app. So DraftKings actually has a couple unique things that no other sports betting site has. So the first thing is pools, which pools are essentially like, think of like NFL Survivor pools, or you pick the spread for every NFL game for a given week. Everyone in the pool throws in $10, and then the prize money might be distributed like first, second, third, or first through fifth, or whatever it is. But basically, it's predetermined bets, and everyone makes the same picks for those games, and then whoever has the best record wins. Or like I said, if you want to do a Survivor pool, there might be another app that offers it, but I haven't seen FanDuel offer it thus far. And yeah, the pools, I don't do it a ton, but it is kind of unique. And there are lots of pools that are like sponsored by like companies for advertising. So it might be like a $10,000 free pool where you don't even have to pay anything to enter, and then you have a chance at winning money. So I think that is one cool thing that DraftKings offers that FanDuel does not. Another cool thing DraftKings offers is their social setting in the app. So in the social setting, you can join betting groups. You can create betting groups with your friends. My friends and I set up a betting group so that when we're all looking at bets to place before NFL games kick off on a given Sunday, we can just scroll through, see what everyone else bet on. So if you want to copy a bet, you can just click on your friend's bet and then decide how much you want to wager, and then just place it without having to go in and find each individual pick, which is really cool. And then the third thing that DraftKings has that FanDuel does not is a rewards program. So it's more so for casino than sports betting. But basically, every dollar that you wager goes towards earning you crowns, which then can be redeemed as casino cash, or DK dollars, which is just regular cash for sports betting. Or you can use money to shop at the DK store and get, DraftKings hoodies or coffee mugs or whatever. DraftKings rewards program is decent, I'd say. I don't know a ton about each different rewards program for all the other sports betting apps, but FanDuel doesn't really have one, so DraftKings definitely gets the edge in that respect. DraftKings also had for a while Rainmakers, which was kind of a crossover between like the My Team mode in 2K and daily fantasy sports, where you're buying packs of cards and then you set your lineup to win cash. But it's currently unavailable because they're involved in some sort of lawsuit regarding Rainmakers. So they don't have that right now. I'm not sure if they're going to bring it back or what the deal is with the lawsuit. Time will tell. But that was another thing that DraftKings previously had that no other sports betting site did. And then NFTs were also a part of that, although I never really got involved with those. So then on the other side of the coin, where FanDuel kind of separates itself, it also has horse racing, which if you're into that is kind of cool. DraftKings does not currently have horse racing. And then this is kind of a personal preference, but FanDuel also has a parlay builder for different sports, which is a super quick and easy way to set up different prop parlays. And I think it's just quicker and easier to use on FanDuel than any other sports betting app, and the odds are better. So by far and away, if I'm going to place any kind of player prop bet or same game parlay, FanDuel is definitely the number one app. So now kind of meeting in the middle where both sportsbooks are really good, and I don't think one necessarily has a big edge over the other. It's just a matter of personal preference. The first of that being casino. Both DraftKings and FanDuel offer a ton of casino games, a ton of different exclusives. I'd say DraftKings has a few more like different variety games, like they have the Rocket game, Minesweeper game, and a couple others that are just unique to DraftKings. And if you're a fan of those games, then you might want to choose DraftKings over FanDuel. But if you're just looking for standard casino games and live dealer games like blackjack, roulette, and all that good stuff, then you can't really go wrong either way. Like I said earlier, I think DraftKings tends to offer more casino promotions throughout the year. But in terms of the game variety, both FanDuel and DraftKings have excellent selections of casino games. Both FanDuel and DraftKings also have daily fantasy sports, so I don't really do DFS, but I know both sites are great for DFS and have a ton of different contests, and are the two leading DFS sites for a reason. And then two couple last things real quickly. I'd say both FanDuel and DraftKings are super easy to use, user friendly. The app doesn't really have any like lag time or unexpected closures, much fewer than any of the other sports betting apps out there. And then I would also say both sites offer great deposit withdrawal options as well as customer service. I haven't had any issues in the 3 or 4 years that I've been using both apps. Always super easy to deposit and withdraw money, and anytime I've had an issue, the customer support has been pretty helpful. All right, so wrapping up with who should choose FanDuel and who should choose DraftKings. Honestly, I think both these apps are two of the best in the country, and having both of them isn't going to hurt you. Like, you can take advantage of the promotions from each different app. And then for bets that you're making, where you're making same game parlays and player prop bets, FanDuel's going to have better odds. But on the reverse, maybe you want to play casino games and DraftKings is going to give you better promotions for that. Or you just like the layout of DraftKings a little bit better for some other types of bets. So I don't think it hurts to have both apps. I will say if you're only going to use one app, you only want to use one sports betting app, I would 100% go with FanDuel just because you're getting better odds across the board, which means the more you win, the more money you're going to get paid out. And at the end of the day, that's really all it's about, right? The FanDuel app is super easy to use. There's a ton of different bets. And if the odds are better, like, I don't know what other reason you'd have to choose a different sports book. But if you are more into the casino side of things and you like the casino promos, you might choose DraftKings. Or if you just prefer the layout, because at the end of the day, DraftKings is still a great sports book. They offer a ton of great ongoing promotions for profit boosts for different sports. And if you are into those betting pools where you want to do a season-long pick'em contest for the NFL or Survivor pool, Or if you just want to have the social aspect of it, if you want to see what your friends are betting on, I do think DraftKings is cool for that, and that could definitely be a reason to choose DraftKings or FanDuel. So yeah, if you like this video, please like, subscribe, all that good stuff. And again, if you are going to open an account with either of these sportsbooks, I've got referral links in the description below. You'll still get it. You'll still be able to take advantage of the new customer promotion, and then I will also get a referral bonus, which helps me out. Much appreciated.